Did anyone see the interview with this climate scientist on Novara the other day?
The biggest stand there was for carbon capture and storage by the oil and gas industries. You know, they're selling snake oil again.
In that clip there, he's talking about carbon capture and what a success story it's been for the oil and gas industry. So that's Kevin Anderson, one of the UK's most respected climate professors. And over the next 3 videos, I'm going to go through 3 things he said in this interview that I think are quite important. In this first video, I want to look at how, in my opinion, the academic community has been complicit in pushing carbon capture as a solution, and specifically in Norway, how much money the fossil industry has put into our universities.
And often you get academics working quite objectively on these things, but the boundaries within which they work, within which they're funded, are deeply subjective.
So this isn't new at all. A recent investigation found that BP-funded research at Princeton produced one of the most influential climate papers in history, the Wedges paper, and one of the fixes that paper leaned heavily on was carbon capture. The research centre got over $56 million from oil company BP over a 25-year period, and their own funding document said that the centre's job was, and I quote, to invent a future where the fossil fuel industries have not disappeared. And one of the researchers who worked on that paper said it very plainly. If they'd concluded that fossil fuels weren't part of the solution, they'd probably have seen their last year of funding. That was 25 years ago. What's happening in Norway today? Well, 5 Norwegian universities took an estimated 1 billion kroner in funding over 5 years from the oil and gas industry. Equinor alone has accounted for nearly 700 million kroner through their academia agreement since 2014. Carbon capture is a specific named research topic in that agreement. They even directly fund 10 professorships at the university in Trondheim.
Go look at my colleagues, what they work on. Far more people are working on carbon capture and storage and negative emission technologies. Almost no one is working on radical emission reductions for climate emergency. Virtually no one I know works at that sort of level. But at the other level, all these technologies, whole swathes of technical people, social science people, all sorts of people are working on those.
And that sums up for me. The climate crisis is mostly a question of power. Who gets to decide what counts as a solution? Who gets to decide what gets researched? And who gets to decide what we actually talk about? And in Norway, the fossil fuel industry has enormous power over all of these 3 things. That's what we're actually up against. I don't think it's necessarily a very technical problem. It's a problem of deeply entrenched power and how we concretely break this power down. In the next videos, I'm going to go into what Kevin says about how climate policy always needs to focus on making life easier for everyday people and this problem of power and how we go up against it.